Some breaking news that I'm adding to the video that I already made before this dropped. But Nintendo has delayed Switch 2 pre-orders. They're still sticking with June 5th as the launch date. That is not changing. But pre-orders have been delayed. And I wonder if this has anything to do with kind of the crisis that's happening with this company right now. They have lost control of the conversation when it comes to Switch 2. The pricing, the DRM stuff, the way they're handling all of this, the backlash has been pretty real for them. But this is what they said. Nintendo has taken the unprecedented decision to delay Switch 2 pre-orders, blaming the impact of Trump's tariffs and evolving market conditions. That's pretty interesting. Pre-orders were set to go live on April 9th. Nintendo did not share an updated kickoff date. Nintendo issued IGN the following statement. Pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2 in the U.S. will not start April 9th in order to assess the potential impact of tariffs and evolving market conditions. Nintendo will update the timing at a later year. The launch date of June 5th is unchanged. I wonder if they're going to raise the price. Nintendo announced the Switch 2 at $449 with a Mario Kart upgrade at $500. And then Mario Kart would be priced at $80. Nintendo's statement issued today raises the prospect that it could raise the price of the Switch 2 and its games further amid what is already a backlash to its next-gen pricing strategy. Wild stuff, man. This is crazy. They have a problem. They need to address it. And if they raise the price, it's going to get even worse. Anyway, let's now go into the video on the crisis that they're having. I don't have the volume on for the Nintendo Treehouse stream because what's going on there doesn't really matter. What does matter is what's going on in these streams. For, well, I don't know, 3 days now, all you see in their chat is drop the price. I just want to show you this, and this has not stopped since yesterday. I watched some stuff yesterday, non-stop in the chat. Drop the price, drop the price, drop the price. There's a couple that are funny that say raise the price. And they're trolling, but it's hard to catch them because everything in here is backlash. Look at this. No game key card, which is stupid. I don't like that. If you don't know what that is, basically what's happening is there's going to be game keys now, which are just basically access codes, except it's a physical cart. You put it in, and then you download the game. So you're basically just getting a digital game. This looks good, by the way, this Bravely Default remaster. I'm probably going to pick this up. What platform? I don't know, but this looks great. But drop the price, drop the price, drop the price. This has been going on since the reveal of the Switch. Now, the Switch 2 reveal stream was pretty good until they dropped details after the stream and the pricing. That has set off gamers big time, and I can't blame them. The prices and the way they're doing some of these things are kind of ridiculous. Like the game tutorial thing that they made. Here's from April 3rd. This is when it first started, I believe. Well, it happened right after the Switch 2 reveal. So I think it's really been going on for 2 days. But that's just spamming, drop the price. I'm really kind of shocked that Nintendo has not turned off the comments and the chat because it's a disaster. And you've got former PR managers now saying, yeah, this is a disaster for Nintendo. These are people that used to work for Nintendo. Former Nintendo PR managers say Switch 2 and Mario Kart World Price Backlash a true crisis moment for Nintendo. They have lost control of this. Now, I really don't think the price of the system is that wild. If you look at it with inflation, the $450 price point is actually kind of close to the original Switch's launch. I believe it's a little bit more expensive. The way the games are being handled, though, I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of digital downloading and having game keys and stuff like that. Like, this was the last company to give you kind of a game physically on a cart. And some of these, it looks like. So, for example, the Metroid Prime 4 Switch 2 edition, you're just basically, unless I've gotten this wrong, but what it looks like is basically you're just getting the Switch version of the game, and then you'll get an access code for the Switch 2 version for digital download, and that's basically the same thing. They're doing some really wild shit. The really good example that I want to bring up is what they're doing with this like game. I forget the name of it, but it's basically a tutorial for the system, right? And they're charging for it. I don't even know how much they're charging. It's like paying for an instruction manual. And just like Call Me Alex put his video that I watched yesterday, not even Sony did that. Sony gave you Astrobot for free. So Nintendo's like taking it to a whole nother level with a lot of this stuff. So I totally understand the backlash. And you have to wonder, are they going to make adjustments? You know, I think they make that tech demo game free. I think they're going to buckle on that. What I'm wondering, though, is if they'll buckle on anything else or if they'll just ignore this. Now, I want you to remember when the 3DS came out. 3DS was a successful system, but when it first launched, it kind of dragged. It dragged a little bit, and that had to do with the pricing and stuff, and then eventually Nintendo slashed the price of the system, and it took off and became a cultural phenomenon. So I'm wondering if we see something similar. I wonder if they drop pricing on anything. We'll see. I mean, the launch isn't really that far off. I honestly think they're just going to ignore all of it and put it all out. Except for, like, I do think the instruction manual game, I think that they actually will end up making that free. I think that they're gonna buckle on that one. It really is kind of a bad look that that's a charged game. That should be free. You're showing off what the system can do. You shouldn't charge for that. Nintendo has they've gotten a little greedy with the way that they've handled some of this shit. And, you know, they're a corporation, and no corporation's your friend, but it really is kind of a knock on their image, for real. And the fact that you've got these former Nintendo PR managers coming out and saying that is a bad look for them. Because usually no one really says anything. Like everyone's kind of... You don't really hear a lot of tea coming out from a lot of former Nintendo people, usually. Speaking in a video on their YouTube channel, former Nintendo of America PR managers Kit Ellis and Krista Yang criticized Nintendo for the way it revealed the $499.99 price of the Switch 2 and the $79.99 price of Mario Kart World. I don't want to blow things out of proportion, but this does feel like a true crisis moment for Nintendo. It really does. And like I said, like this chat, put it in top chat, it just doesn't stop. It's been going like this for 2 days straight. And they've been doing these live streams, and it does not stop. Damn, this game looks great. I'm for sure going to get this game. But this has been nonstop. Nonstop. And if you look on social media, it's bad for them. Really bad for them. It just shows some disrespect to the consumer where, oh, you just saw the direct. You're so excited. You're just going to throw your money at us blindly. You're not even going to ask the question of how much it costs because you're so excited, aren't you? It's a little bit degrading, almost to the intelligence of the consumer, Yang said. They are enabling the story to get out of hand, out of control, Yang said. They have lost control of this. Yeah, they have. I agree. No one's really talking about Mario Kart World in a fun way. No one's really talking about that Donkey Kong game, which looks great, by the way. That game looks like a lot of fun. And that is something Nintendo has always had in their first-party games, fun. They've always stayed pretty consistent in making really good, fun games that aren't broken when they come out, unlike a lot of other gaming companies. I do think they will be the last console on the market. I think Sony hangs out for a while, but Nintendo was the first. Well, Atari was the first, but no one talks about them. Nintendo saved the video game and made the video game market what it is. They will be the last. Nintendo was high on themselves when they came into the market in the first place with the way that they handled NES games, and it kind of feels like they're going right back to that with this. So we'll see, man. Will they acknowledge this? I think they kind of have to do something, but something tells me they're not going to. But I think they should. They've lost control of the conversation. Absolutely. No one's really talking about the games. Everybody's talking about the pricing, the DRM shit that they're pulling. And it's hurting this console. It really is. They need to do something. They need to do something to kind of show some goodwill to the consumer again. They don't have to. They don't have to do shit, to be honest. The thing is going to sell. The question is, does it sell enough after that launch? We won't know that until probably a month or so after, if we see stock on shelves. Like, you're not going to see a PlayStation 5 Pro moment with this. I think, it's going to be sold out the moment it drops, but does it keep selling out? That's the thing. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.